Progress update. Look at everything that has been accomplished since the last time I picked up the camera. Brandon has had a couple of different opportunities to work on this since the last time we touched base, so this has not been done all in one work session, but look at those crisp lines. The stuff up at the top is freshest, as well as down here. He is taking a break for the day now because he's pretty tuckered with trying to get everything lined up. It's a challenge with this pattern down in this area to get everything to appropriately line up. He's done a lot of measuring and has been smart with how he has made sure that things have lined up. At one point he had some nails up at the top before there were tiles there with strings on them, and the string was going from the top to the bottom, and it would line up right where those corners are, and that way he could make sure that it was lined up all the way down. So it is still a work in progress, but it is looking very beautiful. I'm very excited to see it in its final state, of course, and it's just becoming a little bit more realistic every time he has an opportunity to work on it. He has said to me a couple times now that he thinks I don't like him, and that's why I picked this pattern. He's also said that he thinks I must want to torture him and various things of that nature, because this pattern has been a challenge to work with. And unfortunately, I have never done anything with a herringbone pattern other than look at it and admire it. So I have sympathy for the fact that it has been challenging. I have watched him put a lot of effort into making sure that he is precise with this project, which I appreciate because I am a very detail-oriented person, and if things didn't line up just so, I'm sure I would notice it. So it looks beautiful. I'm very glad that we have white grout that we will be putting on it. I think this is kind of essentially what it would look like if it had gray or, well, I guess gray grout, and it's not terrible, but I definitely want white grout. So glad that is our plan. Anything you want to add about this extremely fun project?
It's not fun.
It's not fun, he says. Well, it's beautiful, and it's going to last forever and ever, and we're going to get to enjoy it. Lots of mud drippings, or I guess that's not mud, mortar, that's what that is. But here's a closer up look of the tiles and the pattern. Even in its slightly messy state, it is still beautiful in its own way.
When you first said that?
Brandon is saying that this would have been a great project for me to do because I've never tiled any of our tile projects. I've not participated in placing the tile on the wall, and I had for a brief moment said that I would do this project. So I think that it would have been significantly more challenging than I was anticipating, and I'm very thankful that you are doing it. He's also finished the sheetrock in the garage, so we'll take a peek at that at some point. It's not very exciting. I mean, it was necessary, and I'm thankful that it's done, and I know he's thankful it's done, but it's not like it's an aesthetically appealing project. It was just a necessary project. So that's done, and that's why he's...
Either, so
This what?
this isn't appealing yet either. I'm still at same level as this of dislike as hanging sheetrock. Not more.
No. You're excited about this one because you got the tile saw, and you've been able to use that to cut all the tiles, and it's doing a beautiful job.
Well, for the drywall, I got to use a drywall with that I didn't have to buy, so
That's true. We borrowed the drywall lift that you saw in one of our previous house to home videos, if you watched that, when he was drywalling this ceiling. Actually, when he was doing that, he brought the drywall lift home as well. And so he did use that again for the garage, which the garage has 13-foot ceilings, so much taller than our bedrooms. So very thankful he was able to use that again. An update for you, things are looking gorgeous. Look at that. We are close to being done with this project. What did you do to it today? Not the mortar, but the grout. Brandon grouted it today, so it is mostly dry at this point, but I love the white grout and the way that it looks with the tiles. It really is what tied it all together, literally and figuratively. That is not our actual mantle. Probably you could have guessed that, but just in case, that is just a board that is resting up there at the moment. We need to get the materials for the mantle, and also Brandon needs to do a little like line of caulking or something on the top up by the ceiling, because the tiles don't all end in exactly the same place up there, so that is not why. Anyway, I think a pro would even have to caulk it, wouldn't they? Probably not. Okay, well, that's what we're gonna do to create a nice even line up there. We're gonna have a nice line of caulking. On the bottom, Brandon left some space for future flooring. One of the tricky things about building this prior to having our flooring picked out, or like we've given no thought to flooring because it's just not something we're planning on for a while. But one of the tricky things is that means we've got to account for that at this point, because if we didn't, then the flooring would have to run in front of the tile, which isn't a look I really wanted. So anyway, this is where we're at. Things are pretty close to done, and it is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. I want to stare at it, and so I'm very glad that my bed faces this so that I can do all kinds of staring at it. Very pleased, Brandon. You've done a great job. Yes, that's the mantle. We're gonna leave it just like that. You did not, did you? Brandon, why did you screw that on there? Oh my gosh, you did!
It's just one screw.
You creep! Yeah, alright, he did all this beautiful work, and that's what I get for a mantle. Just don't look at all of that. Oh my gosh, you're lucky you're kidding. I know it's screwed on there, but that is not my mantle, so that's why you're lucky. Anyway, not my mantle. My mantle will be a dark stain, even though that doesn't match all of the other stain around here. That's what we did downstairs as well, and I'm okay with having different colored stains in different areas of the house. It's actually going to be more like the stain of our chairs, maybe even a little bit darker than that, but that is what I am planning on for the stain of the mantle. And there's your final look at that beautiful fireplace. I'm willing to bet that the next time you see it, it will be 100% done and beautiful. Okay, one more shot, because now I turned on the fireplace, and I'm also going to turn off our bedroom lights. Oh, look at how precious that is. Oh my gosh, I adore it. Love, 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 love. We are at Lowe's yet again. Today we're getting the final supplies that we need for the mantle. And also, what?
You don't want like a switch or anything dumb up there, do you?
Or anything dumb. Oh my gosh, no, I don't want to switch. We're going with
Just gonna unplug and replug whatever you have calling. Watch out.
4, 5.
I would assume, yeah, whatever kind of lighting is up there will probably come with a remote, is what I think.
Well, I I don't know.
That's my bet. So anyway, we're just going with a basic outlet. Wait, is this tamper resistant? Do we need tamper resistant?
No, we don't need tamper resistant.
What does that mean? What is tamper
It means
resistant?
you really got to work hard to plug something in. Like, you can't just put something in one of the ends. You need to have a...
Okay, yeah, this is fine.
Yep.
We were considering this for a moment because so the reason we're putting an outlet up there on the mantle is so we can plug in gentle lighting or whatever for decorations, and a lot of things come with USBs these days. And so, oh, that's USB charging, so that's not even what we wanted anyway. Or I guess maybe.
Zip ties.
Anyway, we were going to get this because we thought we could just plug in the USBs and then still have the two outlets, but for $23, I feel like I can just purchase this one that's $265 and then purchase a couple of USB adapter block things off Amazon, and that's gonna still save me money. And then also, if for some reason down the road this USB plug-in option changes shape or whatever, we won't have an outdated outlet. So that is why we went with just this little basic guy right there. All right, next up is stain. Colin, come on. Stain and...
break down and get some of these. No, that's not for the right outlet.
Yeah, ours are square.
But anyway.
Those are neat though. Lumi cover, a nightlight wall plate. Look at that. That is really clever. I like it, but yeah, we have square openings on our plates that we replaced everything in the house recently, so that will not be done again anytime soon. Anyway, so on to stain and wood for the mantle. Brandon has sent me down the stain aisle, but there are so many options. We're trying to match the stain that's downstairs on the mantle in the living room. Not that it really has to match that because these two mantles are very far away from each other, but that's the goal here. And I don't know, I think we're somewhere in this dark range. That's black. No, we don't want a true black. Espresso, maybe it's espresso. That looks a lot like, I don't even know if it's this brand. You sent me down the stain aisle like I knew what brand it was. I don't even know.
Pick a color you like. Just get a small can of the color you like.
Oh, just a small can. All right.
You don't have to match anything.
Okay, I guess I just have
Way
to.
overcomplicated.
I am not. I like matching things. What is this?
You like matching things that's 80 feet away from another thing?
Yes. What color is this? It doesn't say.
It's that color.
Provincial 211.
What about like a gray?
Eli's got one over here that's called honey, and then I have ebony and espresso. I think I'm kicking ebony out. It's pulling a little more black than I'm wanting. I like the really rich brown of espresso, but honey and espresso look really similar. I don't really know the difference between these two because that just looks real similar to me. They're both semi-transparent, dries in 2 hours, all that good stuff. So I don't know. Honey, though, I feel like is not going to actually be as dark of a brown, but on these pictures, those look identical. Am I wrong? Final choice, we're going with espresso. Food tip while we're here, apparently these buckets are all food grade. We've learned from a reputable source, and so when we do sap in the spring, we can get some of these buckets for it. I was today years old when I discovered that a legit tool to open paint cans exists. For 68 cents, Brandon and I are each getting one. Leaving his mark wherever he goes.
Daddy, can you do this? I'm like,
Yeah.
We
Want
need
the
a
same
1
size?
by 12, which this is, and it does
12.
look okay, but it's called a utility
Well, that might be.
shelf.
I don't really know.
And all the other
1 by 12.
things.
Yeah, the 1 by 12 by 6 is 21.
Is that what that
And then
is?
the one, well, that's written different, 112.8.
Yeah, and that one's
And-
considered a utility shelf, and this
And this
is
is not
considered
one
top
by-
choice.
This is not.
Oh, that's white. Yeah, that's white. I don't
That's
white.
not a 1x12. But
Oh,
I don't know. It
the
doesn't make any
labels.
sense.
The labels don't make sense. Great. So anyway. This might be
Probably not the right price.
a board that we are selecting. I really like the look of the wood over here a tiny bit better, but none of these are 1x12s. They're 1x10s. Wait, so what do we have here? We have a 1x12 by what?
8.
No, how long are they?
8 feet.
Oh, so that's a 1x12 by 8. What's this?
1x6 by 8.
Okay, and then we're cutting them in half. Well, we don't quite need that much because it's going to be 46 inches in length. But anyway, between these two boards, we'll be able to do the top, the bottom, and all the sides. Our mantle is going to be hollow. Hadn't said that yet.
Well, it has to be hollow.
Yes, I know, but not everyone
Fill it
chooses
with
to
wood
put
glue.
a hollow mantle up.
Fill it with
These hardwoods are beautiful and so smooth, but wow, look at that cost. Brandon said I could do all this with hardwood in a joking fashion.
He's
Got
just
our
getting
little
his Kindle on.
collection of things here, and now we are sliding the wood in. When you have a lot of kids in a massive car, an 8-foot board looks small inside your vehicle. We are home. Brandon is downstairs cutting the wood for the mantle. We also got painter's tape. He already had the caulking, so we can take care of up by the ceiling. And then I'm going to give the walls a bit of a wipe down. You can see kind of like there's some streaky looking marks from getting everything grouted. And I'm going to wipe down the tiles one more time. And then that's going to be a wrap on this project. I'm very excited to show you the final outcome. It is already absolutely gorgeous. I adore it. I'm so thankful to have this in our bedroom. It's a grand focal point, and I love the pattern that I chose, the herringbone pattern. Brandon was a trooper putting up with this because it was a slightly more challenging pattern, but it came out looking magnificent. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you an extremely gorgeous, 95% complete fireplace. Do you still call it a fireplace when it's floor to ceiling like this? It's not just a mantle. It's a mantle, it's a fireplace, it's floor to ceiling. What is the right name for that? I don't know, but look at that beauty. I am in love. So it is 95% complete because we need to do a little touch up of the paint right here around the edges, just right in there. So I'm going to tackle that right now, and also a little bit of touch up of paint on the ceiling. So that is my current endeavor, but we have our mantle. It is in place. I think Brandon wants to add maybe one more coat. He's not very pleased with how the glued areas turned out, and actually it's still tacky. It's been days. I don't think it's gonna dry. We're probably just gonna have to put a layer of poly over it, which maybe would give it a uniform look, because right now the issue seems to be more in the how it seeped into the wood versus the actual color. So he's irritated about that, because he did work pretty hard to make it look like it was one solid piece of wood. He mitered the edges here to get that effect, and so he really just was excited about how he thought it was going to look, and then the vision didn't quite come to fruition. So I can understand that. I've had situations like that, so I can understand his frustration, but it is still absolutely beautiful. We have our outlet all situated up here and waiting for our string lights to come in. I purchased a set of string lights. I wanted a set that has a remote so that I could turn it on and off from bed, and it arrived without the remote. So Amazon is sending a new box. We also collect nutcrackers, so I have acquired our 2023 nutcracker, and this is not its final place, but it just made it here. So while it waits till the other nutcrackers are out and it can join them, that is where it is. But the fireplace is in. I've washed all of the tiles to get the tile dust off. I've washed the walls, and it is beautiful. It turns on and looks amazing. Let's just take a look. That's just dirty, but that's okay. And there we go. She's on and looking beautiful. I am so smitten with this. I get to see it as I'm lying in bed, which brings me great joy. Let me back up again for you. So it brings me great joy to get to see this while I am lying in bed. And we're gonna get those touch-ups done, and then it's 100% done. There you have it, 100% complete. I'm sure it doesn't look a ton different on camera, but those corners are looking really nice and crisp. The sides have been touched up, as well as the ceiling, and so everything is just looking really cohesive, clean, tidy, and stunning. That's a wrap on this project. I am so pleased with how this turned out. It is everything I envisioned. Let's just go ahead and do a little admiring of that beautiful fireplace behind me while I say goodbye to you for this house to home episode. Brandon has invested so much energy and time into this project. I'm very thankful for all of his hard work. I was able to get my hand in there a little bit and help out, but really it was mostly just my vision and he made it come to life. Per usual, I feel like we make a really great team. With every project that we do together, I think that he gets me more and more, and that's crazy to think that it's possible after all the years that we've been married. But I love it. I love him. I love this. I'm so thankful. I will say that I got myself a little messy while I was doing my small portion of this project just now. I was not real great about taking off my clothes that I had worn to work for the day, which really, yes, I should have done, but I did not. And so I am wearing a different shirt now. I had to go and do a little bit of stain treating of my clothing to try to salvage it. It was a brand new sweatshirt too, first time I've ever worn it. When will I learn? Probably not ever. But anyway, the project is done. It is beautiful. It makes our space that much more cozy, which is everything I've ever wanted, is to have a nice cozy space for Brandon and I to share together, and we absolutely have that at this point. I would say it was cozy even before we added the fireplace, but I do believe that this addition makes it that much more cozy. I'm really proud of us. I love our teamwork. Next up is our master bathroom. I anticipate that this will be a lengthier project, so we will probably cover this over the course of several episodes in this House to Home series. The very first step is sheetrock. Yep, that's still the current state of the bathroom. We have not even put sheetrock up. So anyway, be sure that you stay tuned to the Bees Business so you won't miss any future episodes in our House to Home series. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!